hello, and thank you for joining us for another podcast at the Gospel Rescue Mission. This week we are talking to Ruby Whitaker. She's had a successful 6-month stay with us, and we just wanted to check in and see how God's blessing her and what's going on in her life. So listen in and enjoy. So I am here at the Fixo Family Center, and we're in the prayer room, and I'm visiting with Ruby Whitaker. And Ruby, you have been here for?
About 6 months.
Okay. And it's funny because we start talking, and it's almost, every time I talk with a resident, it's almost like they're just so excited to tell me what's going on, that we almost have the podcast before we have the podcast.
Yes, definitely.
We have the interview and tell everybody what's going on. And then I got to go and tell me all that stuff again. So maybe you can do me this favor. Take us back 6 months ago. What was going on before you came into the mission? What was going on in your life and you can be as open as you feel comfortable with. We've only got like 4 people that listen to this.
Yes.
Four people, or maybe 1,000, I don't know, that listen to this. So you can be as honest and open about that as you feel comfortable with. But tell us a little bit about what was going on in your life that led up to coming to the Gospel Rescue Mission.
Well, it all started off codependent. Yes, me and my daughter and my grandson was living together in a house, and we were all doing pretty good. And we became a live-in babysitter. So we decided that's not going to fly anymore. So my daughter says she's going to move out. And I've been trying probably around June looking for apartments. I mean, I only make like $1,076 a month.
Okay.
And I mean, we put in all my applications everywhere, everywhere you could think of. Mm-hmm. And there has been a waiting list, 45 months, 2 months, 6 months.
Sure.
So we had probably maybe about 3 months left, and my daughter says, I'm going to move. So at the time, to make a long story short, when we got ready to move, there was no apartment, nowhere to go. So my daughter went up north with her friend, and my grandson's here in Medford living with his fiancée. And me, I'm going, okay, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? You know, I'm sitting here homeless, nowhere to go. And so I just started praying, and somebody told me about this place called the Mission.
Yeah.
Well, to me, a mission was, dirty, nasty, kind of like being incarcerated. Like, I don't want to go there.
Right.
But I kind of prayed about it, and I'm here. And so I walked in, I would say about 6 months now. Uh-huh. And yes, I was scared.
And you found out how dirty and nasty it is here, right?
Yeah, and I walked in, and oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it's like a mission. I mean, a mansion.
Yeah.
I mean, they got all these golden fans running around. There's a great big old fireplace. I mean, you'd almost, and I'm being honest, I was shocked.
Yeah.
And I heard that there was a name on here that used to live here or bought it or something, and they had a lot of money, and they actually put money into this place, and that's how it became. And they've been doing this for a long time. And so I got here, and when I first met Amy Lovejoy, I thought, oh my gosh, she's cruel. She just wants to control me. You can't do this, you can't do that. You can't move. You have to work 30 days,
Amy Lovejoy is our women's coordinator.
Yes,
so she's the one that's it's her job to kind of help get people working through our 30-day program.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. So go on. So obviously she just, oh man, all this work, all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't think I could handle it. So 30 days went by, I got out of the dorm, and so Amy moves me upstairs into this beautiful room, nice big bed, and it all turns out to be that Amy Lovejoy, I started up in here, I smoked cigarettes, I drank beer, and now, after 6 months, I got a chance to get an apartment, which I was waiting on HUD, which is a program, where you you only, if you get an apartment for, say, like 800, you only have to pay 400.
Right.
So here I am waiting on that too. Well, all of a sudden, like, here it is in April. So my HUD kicks in, and I'm going, oh man, this is really working. This is fantastic, you know.
Got my HUD voucher. Yay.
Yeah.
Right.
Then I go out and look for apartments, and boom. And so I'm getting an apartment. I got the HUD kicked in. I got $2,000 in a bank. I mean, good food. I mean, if you could see me, guarantee you I'm not skinny anymore.
Nobody loses weight when they come to the mission. Nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody eats well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just, to me, it's been great, and we have chapel every night. And at first it was a little boring, but now it's like on weekends, you really miss it because you get yourself into like a little routine, and you get really lonely if you don't go to chapel.
Yeah.
So I think it's the most fantastic thing there ever was, to be honest. It's helped me, and I'm 60 years old. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be all broken down. I can't handle this. I'm too old. Well, guess what? I'm still walking, doing good, more healthy than I was when I came in here.
So in 6 months, in 6 months' time being here, you have quit smoking. How long did you smoke?
Oh
before?
my gosh.
When did you start
60, at least 30, 40, 30 years. Long time.
Did you start when you were a teenager?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a while. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you quit smoking. Now, that's an amazing thing. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of people listening to this that said, oh, she didn't really quit. Did you really quit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I won't lie. I cheated one time, and I'm in front of Brian, and I'll say it to the world. I actually cheated one time.
Yeah.
And Amy, this is how nice Amy in this place is. She said, you got 1 week. She says, you do a clean one, you're fine to stay. I never picked up another one, and it's been the most beautiful thing I ever did.
That's amazing.
Yes,
That's amazing.
so this is how great this place is.
So then the chapel thing. And the reason I'm camping on these two things is because these are two of the bigger complaints that we get about our program. Everybody thinks that we have like these really rigid barriers to overcome to get people off the street and everything. And the big ones that they think are just impossible for people to do is the smoking thing and then the chapel thing. Now, were you attending church before you came?
To be honest,
Yeah.
kind of more off than on.
Okay.
So it's like I got back something I lost a long time ago because I was very good in church. My dad is, and maybe God kind of took me back here. It's kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's a funny thing because I get that a lot from people who, when they first come in, they're really like, oh man, they make us go to chapel, and people from the outside kind of look and go, what? You make them go twice a day to chapel, 6 days a week? What's the matter with you people? And all this stuff, and it's like, and we don't withhold food from you or anything crazy if you don't attend or whatever, but we do make you attend. You still have to go, but inevitably, what I find, even with people who wouldn't say, yeah, I'm a full-on believer and all this kind of stuff, I get this, they'll say, you know what though, I really kind of enjoy them, and I feel kind of lonely if I didn't make it to them, and it's really a good thing, they go, at first that was a little overwhelming, but then, after a while I got to where I was kind of liking it, and stuff, and so that's, you and I mean, did we talk, apart from the little conversation we were having before we came in there, how many times have you and I talked in your entire 6 months of staying here?
Oh, geez, I think maybe only 3 times.
Yeah, and most of that just in passing, right?
Yeah, that was just kind of passing by, saying hi when you walked in here.
Yeah. I didn't know any of this about you, I pay attention to our 30-day program. I can kind of see people who are making progress and everything, but so it's kind of a risk, I'm going, okay, hey, I'm going to put a microphone on you and you can say anything you want, you could say absolutely anything about this place. And it's funny because I almost always get this kind of a story, it's this kind of a tale that people tell about their stay at the mission, that they go, everything that I thought at first, it was a rough adjustment that first week. But once I kind of figured out what was going on and figured out what was expected and kind of figured out how to do it, then the second week was easier and the third week was easier. And after a while, I forgot that it was even part of, something to do. It just became part of my routine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I hear you say, in a way. And yeah, everybody comes in with a different thing. Some people come in here and get jobs. Some people, like in your case, coming in, they're just going, hey, I only make so much in Social Security, and finding a home is not an easy thing to do. Of course, you can afford a lot more of a home when you've got a HUD voucher available to you, which then moves you in. You can start looking in places that maybe you weren't looking before, and that's kind of helpful. I think, but at the same time, yeah, it's just the housing market's tight, and it's tight everywhere. I try and figure out how you're going to survive on, $1,100 a month. Most of probably our audience doesn't have to do that every day. Most of our audience maybe even has never had to do that. I'm sure there are some in our audience that would do that. That have had to do that in their lifetime. That's probably why they're in part fans of the mission and supporters of the mission. For me, I'm always looking to get somebody to a place of independence, as independent as you can possibly be. And so to me, the beauty of like pairing you up with a HUD voucher and everything is that, okay, now you're kind of getting some subsidies for your housing and everything, but that's also allowing the extra monies that you have to be spent in the community as you're buying food and groceries and going to the movie theater or whatever, or, paying for your vehicle or whatever, traveling back and forth. I mean, buying clothes here in town. It all helps the economy here in Grants Pass, and that's super important. But what's even more important than that is just that you, who were stuck in this bind before, looking at, what am I going to do? We've all become codependent on each other. You recognize that you knew something had to change. You tried to change it. And the system really isn't set up for you to change it very easily. It takes a lot of hard work to change, to move away from codependence and everything. And that's where coming to the mission can really help you find that way, getting free from that and getting a little bit of money in savings and get that kind of thing. Wow, that's really good. So tell me something really bad about your stay here. Something that if you said, oh man, the Gospel Rescue Mission is bad here or really needs to fix this part of their program. Tell me something about that.
Well,
I'm throwing you on the spot here, so
I know.
You can make something up,
and
or
this is
you can
go
tell me nothing
the
or
world,
whatever.
And the only one I'm really concerned about, which Amy Lovejoy knows me very well now, is sometimes I think the RAs they had here, which is not, I don't think it would be Brian or the coordinators or any of them, because they don't know what's going on in here. So I do think sometimes they were kind of like, I wear the badge because they're the RA. But Amy kind of talked to them for a little bit, and they had the same problems maybe I had or some other of, lonely, had nobody out there to talk to.
Sure.
Homeless, and so maybe a little chip on their shoulders, so they had to release it the best way they know how to release it.
Yeah.
And outside of that, and if you really get to know the program, I was just telling Amy the other day, I said, now it's like I would preach to some of the girls that comes in. I'll say, if you really think about Brian and this program here, there's some people out there maybe that has never been taught to get up in the mornings. They forgot. Yeah. They don't even know how to dress to get a job.
Yeah.
To be clean. They don't know how to talk to get a job, Some of them don't even...
or apply for a house, an apartment or something like that. I mean, you whether it's getting a job, you have to do an interview somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. And whether it's applying for a home or getting into a job or whatever, I mean, so just that ability to communicate is pretty powerful. Mm-hmm. That's funny because the RAs is another common area source of frustration among the residents. That happens from time to time. Not all of them, and everything, and it kind of happens cyclically here in a way. But I always try and help people remember that our RAs are resident assistants. They're assistants who are residents themselves, and who also assist the other residents. So it's kind of like this double meaning in the RA thing. But yeah, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, they were in the same spot you're in. And they were in the same broken place that you were at, in one way or another. If they didn't get to that spot because they really excelled in lots of management skills and people, dealing with difficult people skills or any of that kind of stuff. We've kind of thrust somebody who doesn't have those skills into that position, just because we see potential and because we see the potential to learn those skills, but also because the RAs are your peers, they also know what's happening here. I mean, staff isn't here 24/7. The RAs are. So, they could pull the wool over my eyes or Greg's eyes or Amy's eyes or whatever, but they're not going to pull the wool, a resident's not going to pull the wool over an RA's eyes, and vice versa, because they all live together. Mm-hmm. And so we take advantage of that dynamic and let them speak into that. And of course, they're not perfect at it. They're always learning. The propensity to fail is there. They struggle with it. They're trying to deal with all the challenges of being a resident assistant and all the struggles of all the other residents while they're still trying to work through the problems of their life, the things that led them here. So the tendency to do it in a broken way sometimes is there. But we just kind of continue to coach them and work them through it. And at the same time, we take the residents themselves when they get frustrated with the RAs. We go, hey, you know what? You're always going to work around somebody who's frustrating. Can you do good even if they're not doing good? Can you follow the program and do the right thing even if everybody else isn't? And usually I can get a resident to go, once they think it through in that context, they'll go, yeah, I'm committed to try and do right even if they fail. Great, then we don't have a problem. Then it's frustrating, and I know it's frustrating, but sometimes life is frustrating. It's okay to live with a little frustration, and we'll work through that together. And now, think about this. You went through all of that frustration, and you did it without smoking and without drinking. You didn't use anything, you didn't use any of those things that were your crutches before for the last 60 years or so, at least 45 of the last 60 years or so, you didn't need any of those things. You learned to do it all on your own. How awesome is that?
That's pretty awesome, because now I have a tendency to preach to others, as I think I preach it to myself too.
Sure.
Of saying, I understand, getting back to the RAs too, I understand them more than probably most of them in here.
Yeah.
We had our few up and downs, but usually 9 times out of 10, I'll talk to them and they can relate to me almost like a mom or something.
Yeah.
And then we get along.
Yep.
But I was telling them the hardest thing I had to do was, taking care of my dad too, was handling things sober. Like, maybe that's what's wrong with half the world out there. Yeah. Is they can't. And this place here gives you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
That you can't cover up your hurt or whatever's inside you.
Yeah.
And so doing it soberly, I think, is more awesome, because you can focus. You can focus on your jobs, you can focus on this. You're not focusing on all the bad stuff, you know. And this is also, I think, is what this mission has given me, and will probably continue giving others, due to the fact that we do have the chapel where we've cried, we've talked, and it has taught you how to handle things soberly.
Yeah.
And the getting up and stuff, I mean, like I was saying, you have to, unfortunately, work and make money in this world. So it teaches you to have responsibilities and independent, like you were saying. And I think it helps others, and it's even helped me. So I think it's, I mean, I'm not just saying this because I'm getting interviewed, but in my position, I probably would have been on the street trying to figure out how am I going to get a house. Yeah. I've been warm. I'm definitely fed. I've has friends here talking to, and it's not like I've been beat up here,
Right.
And the place is clean. We clean like 24/7.
I know, man.
This is, I gotta admit, this is the most cleanest mission I have ever gone to.
Yeah.
Because, I got a pimple one time, and I was calling my daughter. She goes, Mom, it's a mission pimple. I said, no. I said, this is the cleanest mission. I said, we clean all the time, which is a big blessing. We do our sheets every week. I mean, this place and the food, I got to admit, you pay $100 a month for food, you ain't going to make it ever out there on that. It's excellent because you get 3 meals a day. You get fruits, you get meats, you get, it may not be exactly what you want, but most of the time it is what you want.
Yeah.
And you're healthy.
Yeah.
Most missions, you better look at the loaf of bread to see if there's any mold on it.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, the food here is excellent. And the guys over there at the men's mission cooks it for us. I mean, how awesome!
I know. It's they often sit there and go, "Man, are you kidding me, man? You get 3 hot meals prepared for you every day. What is there not to like about that? And they're good meals. That's just so cool." Well, you know what? It's this is a great place, and I'm so happy, Ruby, to be a great place for you. I'm glad that it was a really great place for you in your stay here. So many people. I mean, those people that come in and don't last a week, they have a month's worth of stuff to say about the mission that's negative, even though they were only in for a couple of days. And they'll run out and blab to everybody and say all kinds of bad stuff. And I'm always like, man, you know what? Some people will tell me, I don't hear anything good about the mission. I go, man, I don't hear anything bad about the mission. But it's just because I talk to different people, mostly I talk to the people who are working in the program and who are working their way through the program, and you're one of those, and again, it's one of those great reasons. I know this, Amy has been such a joy to have and to work with as a coworker. She works really hard. This lady absolutely loves all of you girls so much, and she's tireless at it. And I've got nothing but good to say about her, in that we've got the best staff on the planet. We couldn't do it without all of them, and we serve a good God, who cares for us and stuff. I remember the days when we offered a lot less than what we offer today. Amen. And when we do a lot less than what we do today, and God has really done great things here, and it's a pleasure as a staff member to be a part of that and to share in your joy as you're getting ready to leave, right?
Yeah, hopefully so.
So you found a place?
Yes, all I'm waiting on is a piece of paper saying I'm on disability.
Okay.
So, but it's like, I don't know if I could have done it without being in here or not. I think I would have not done it as much as being in here, because I've had a lot of support. Amy, even her 30-day reviews. Just continue your housework every week. Continue that. And that right there is what gave me my apartment. It's like you guys don't hold us down. You give us a chance to go out and get an apartment, work search, all that, work search, housing, all of that.
Yeah.
And you get the mail here. For somebody to say that it's real bad, I think it's just because they didn't get their way.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I could say.
Yeah. So do me this favor. I ask this to just about every interviewee that I get to visit with. So imagine there's somebody listening to this, and this is the first that they ever got to hear of somebody from the mission, from the inside, and they're thinking, "Man, I might need to stay at the mission. Things are going bad for me." And I've heard a lot of bad stuff about the mission, or maybe I haven't heard anything about the mission, but I'm still scared. What would you say to that person right now?
I would say that you have to get up in the mornings, but just think, you would have to get up if you would have to work, unless you're on some kind of retirement plan,
Sure.
And you have to work to get that. For $100 a month, you can't beat it. And I would say come in, give it a shot, and stay more than just a week.
Yeah.
Give it at least 30 days, a month, 2 months, because it's going to take that long for you to renew yourself, get things going.
And the first 30 days, we don't even charge for the food program.
Yeah.
I mean, your first 30 days is just free. Yeah,
Right.
Just come in and learn about us and enjoy and stay and everything. That's great. That's great. Yeah, I agree. I think it's just be patient, come in, check it out, stay a little longer than a week or two. Actually 6 months is about the right length of time for most people that come in here. I think it takes a good 6 months just to kind of figure out, when you're faced with all these choices, which one do I start with first? And all of them are saying, I'm first, I get the attention first. But you can't do all of them at the same time. So you have to narrow it down and go, what's the one thing that I can do that if I do this thing, it'll make everything else easier or unnecessary. And I can walk with that. I can begin to start ordering my life and prioritizing my life in a way that will get me to the place that I want to be. Because certainly the things that got me here won't get me there, right? It's going to take something new. I'm going to need something new. And that's what we do here. We kind of try and help you focus, help you order things out, help you think it through, not with the intention of bossing you around, but with the intention of trying to help you flourish. And we see a lot of people leave here really well. Every year, that's good.
Well, yeah, that's like Amy told me. If you sat here, if you could do it, all you have to do is just quit smoking.
Yeah.
And get up at 5 in the morning. Hey, what's the deal,
Yeah.
You can walk out of here in you say $1,000 a month, you can walk out of here $12,000 in your hand.
You could.
Amy said, like she said, you can walk out with a big fat checking account.
Yep.
If you already got an income.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yep. Get all your bills caught up. Walk out with a vehicle and a place and whatever you need.
Yeah.
You can easily do it here. Well, that's exactly why we do what we do, and again, Ruby, it's just fantastic to see you really thriving here, and so I really appreciate you taking the time to visit with me, and this is your story is what I want every donor to hear, every person that thinks about what are we doing here at the Gospel Rescue Mission. What happens to my money when I donate to the Gospel Rescue Mission? I'll tell you what happens. Rubies happen.
Exactly,
We may not make gold out of it, but we make rubies.
Yes, you do.
And that's fantastic. Maybe that'll sell. I don't know. I was a little cheesy, but but you know what? It's so cool because this is exactly this is the best kind of outcome that we always hope for, and that happens with us. All too often. We're really proud of you, and we'll be here for you if things, for whatever reason don't work out exactly right. We'll come back and we'll try and get you in the right path again, and our hope is that we just get to see each other next time when we're out at the park or shopping downtown or whatever, and you can just continue to hear about all the good things going on in your life. And we're really glad that the Lord's blessed you.
Yes, it has. I got one more thing to say. That's another thing here.
Yeah.
Is if you leave.
Yeah.
And for some odd reason you get angry, and if you could, do whatever they want you to do, you're welcome to come back.
Yep.
A room, a place warm.
Yeah.
That takes a lot. Okay, man, you got mad, you left. Okay, you made a bad choice. you could come right back and try it one more time, but you got to follow the little rules, and everything's fine. You know,
Isn't that
now
great?
that is awesome.
Isn't that great? You know, that's another thing. You're exactly right again. You know, the idea for us, repentance goes a long ways. Mm-hmm. All you got to do, if somebody, a former resident, has stomped out of here and made a big scene, had a fit and fell in it or whatever, and been asked to leave because of it or whatever, or just stomped out on their own, all we ask is, hey, come back and go, you know what? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I will commit to not do it again. I acknowledge that what I did was, you know, not cool, and I'll commit to not do that again. And you know, if you just give me another chance, it's pretty much as easy as that. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You know, we might ask for a clean UA. We might ask you for, you know, some help out up front for some of that stuff or whatever, but we would rather have you in than not have you in. You know, I mean, we'd rather have you here than have you out on the streets. So we're always looking for ways to get people in and to keep them in. So, well, hey, you know, thank you for having such a great attitude and just, you know, the encouragement from all of that. And I'm excited to see where the Lord's going to take you in your, you know, in all the new endeavors, moving into a new place and all that kind of stuff. I'm confident that if not this house, the next house, we'll find it. It'll come up. You know, I think that it's people with the right attitude and who come at it from the right place in their heart that really will succeed and do well. So God bless you, and thanks again.
God bless you, and thank you so much, Brian.
All right, you're welcome. Well, there you have it. There's another podcast in the hole. This is my interview with Ruby Whitaker. We thank you all for listening and checking us out, and we ask that you would continue to pray for Ruby and as the Lord continues to walk with her in her journey. If this podcast has just struck a chord home with you as you're listening and maybe been inspired or encouraged, would you please take the time to share it with your friends and tell people about it? Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and on iTunes, make a comment, leave some kind of feedback for us. We just love that. And of course, you can always follow us at grantspassmission.org. Thank you again for listening and have a great day.